Okay, so I know this mic sucks. If anyone gets any suggestions on a good cheap mic, I bought this a while back. I don't know anything about it anymore, but it definitely sucks. So, anyway, I'm just going to tell one story. This one was during COVID. I had a friend who had been a friend since high school. So in COVID, what was like 2020, this would have happened 2021 maybe, would have been 49. So known this person for over like 30 years, right, 35 years. And what was one of the cliches of um, light is bright. The cliches was the word hero. Everyone was a friggin' hero. If you worked at McDonald's, you were a hero, and it was just everyone was a hero. And there were some I don't even want to say anybody was a hero really. I don't want to get into the whole thing of it because it was all just whatever it was. So, but kids weren't in school. My kid wasn't in school. Nobody's kid was in school, and so this person had reposted this mother's rant about how her son was a superhero. And I was just like, I read the whole thing, and I was just like, it's just so much coddling. Like, you're a hero. You stayed at home. You played on your iPad. You watched movies. I mean, this was a kid in North America, right? So it wasn't really that difficult. It wasn't too much then. Remember before school? That's exactly what it was like. And so to call these kids superheroes, I just said, well, stop it. Stop using that word. Stop it. It's like, oh, the kids are mentally ill now, stuff like that. No, kids that were already in social environments, um, but this kid was like, grade one, and it's not to say there's a lot of things, but it definitely wasn't. He wasn't doing superhero shit. That's what was so ridiculous about the whole thing. So I called her out on it, and not too long before that, I had a cat that it was just, and we had just put down a feline friend of ours, and he was just so old. We got him when he was old. We adopted him, and we went through all the legal problem. Got him in China. It's a Chinese cat. Just kidding. But we had just put him down. It was like 2 weeks, and then I ain't gonna tell that story. So anyway, he couldn't walk. His rear leg stopped working. He had a clot, and then they detected cancer as well. And it was like, letting go is hard. He wasn't super old. He was I don't know, 15, something like that, and 14, and but he was so spry before that. It was just like crazy because he was always like, just jumping. He was very graceful. He was Balinese. Beautiful cat, beautiful guy. Kind of had to earn his respect. He was cool that way. Um, Not a slut. So anyway, he we took him in, and it was just like, barring just and the way sometimes finances are, you just don't have it. I don't use credit at all, so I don't have credit cards. I pay cash for everything, and I didn't have that much cash that quickly. And so, and it's crazy what they want to charge and stuff like that. Just to get the other one cat checked out, they wanted over $4,000 just to run tests. So it's just kind of crazy how that happened. And I was just like, you know what? He's had a good life. He's obviously now he's not doing well. All of a sudden, he can't walk. And so I don't know, why am I even telling this story? It's not part of the story. Oh yeah, it is. So I should write things down. I'll do better. So just getting back on track. He we had to put him we put him down, and when I was seeking cancer treatment, I did a GoFundMe really quick. A lot of people do that, and I really hate doing that. It kind of makes me nauseous. I had two times I've done it. That was one, and when I have another, the story, but this was I was trying to get raise money for attorneys for a fight in court to get my daughter. So other than that, and I raised the money mainly myself anyway, and with the people who sent money with this, we gave it back for the most part because there are some people said just keep it, but we didn't go forward with treatment, so there was no need, and we didn't raise that much anyway. So it wasn't a big deal, but we had done that. So this girl, when I told her to shut the hell up with the stupid like coddling and just creating babies out of like just like cr- creating victims like oh poor you had to do this and blah 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 blah, and it's really creating victim mentality, and it's not a good thing to do. And so I called her out on it because she was dependent. So then she brought up like, oh, and you had to raise money for your dead cat, and I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with this conversation? And what's wrong with that? So I called her a cunt, and she unfriended me. That was weird. But it was just such a weird thing because COVID really made pussies out of a lot of people. A lot of people really. I mean, I was in Arizona, so it wasn't a big deal. I mean, it depends where you were, right? If you're not in Arizona or in some cool state, they were in Canada, which was really crazy in some areas. Um, yeah, you look at things a little differently. So anyway, that's the story about losing a friend during COVID. But I didn't. No one I knew died, but I did lose a few friends. I think we all probably gained some friends, people who think like us, and don't think like us, depending on what side of the thing you were. I wasn't really on either side. I was trying to remain neutral and objective. You're not allowed to do that anymore. You're either this or that. You are labeled. We love labels. Stop making labels. Unless you're a fucking label maker and you're working on your files, stop fucking making labels. Labels are a problem, and everyone wants to be labeled so they can identify who the fuck they are because they just haven't figured it out yet. I don't know who the fuck I am. I don't need a fucking false label to give me validation or make myself legitimate. So anyway, that is the story of her name is I'm not gonna say her name. Actually, she was like my first girlfriend. I forgot about that part. Yeah, this girl was my first girlfriend. Real bitch. Um, Not that attractive. Um, you know, 2020 hindsight. Not hideous or anything like that, but a good maybe like a six. Um, but just it, and she made the moves on me. All the girls always um, made. I was pretty shy. I was always a new kid. So we dated for like 2 weeks. That was it, and then she just ghosted me and not saying a word. Not saying a word. The thing is I didn't put out. So um, I wasn't like a typical guy. I don't know. I really, I was brought up by a single mom, and so I didn't play fucking games, and life was pretty real and pretty hard, and so no bullshit. So like this one girl liked me because I treat her like one of the guys, and so she wanted to go out. And once we were going out, I treated her with a lot more respect than I did with one of the guys, and she didn't like it. And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't treat you horrible. I mean, that's just us joking around as friends, but now we're more than friends, and I don't know, I can't separate that kind of behavior just because my mom was abused. And this is, me acting out really the way I do with my friends. But I always treated girls and guys the same way. I wasn't like little girls. And her dad was a coach for the local hockey team, like the junior hockey team. Probably can't even hear this fucking conversation. But yeah, so that girl ghosted me, and that was in grade 10. And then we didn't really talk. And then it was like grade 12 graduation, wet grad, after we graduated, after last day of school. Um, Kind of, we'd go to this barn, bus us out there. It's all sanctioned by the school. We all get just tanked. I was going to say cremated. Yeah, it was a Jewish aftergrad run by the Germans. Um, it's horrible. No, we got annihilated. That would be better. We were allowed to bring our own booze. They had gambling set up as a safe spot. Nobody could drive in or out, just these city buses. So good situation. And during that party, she came up to me and was like, "Oh, what happened between us?" I'm like, "Yeah, you fucking ghosted me. Why are you fucking asking now?" You know. And so she wanted to kind of get back together. I'm like, "Oh, it's summer. Yeah, sure, whatever." And we made out a couple times, and I'm just like, and we remained friends though, friendly, until COVID. So, but she was never. We were never close friends. I mean, she's kind of. I don't know. I shouldn't say it, right? Okay. I'll put the laugh tracks in. So this was really funny, and then we'll go from there. Someone wants to send me a mic. That'd be great. Send a mic at I am Jim Smith 72 at gmail.com. I think Jim at imjimsmith.com as well. I don't know. I should find these things out and run a reputable show. Anyway, this was episode one. Not necessarily the first story, but the first of many. Maybe I will try to make this weekly. That would be good. Alright. Maybe daily. Just one story daily. If I can get a good setup. So I can go. I can just use my fucking phone. But I like this. Hey,